Hello, welcome to Everything vs. Everything, episode 10.5. This is the first of our sub-episodes where we read through the entire list in order from best to worst. I'm thinking we're probably going to do this every 5 episodes or so, just to kind of give us a lay of the land and remind ourselves of where everything is, what the list looks like at the moment, and maybe sort of highlight some of the things that we might want to change about it, or just generally get a feel for, just where things are at the moment, so that we have some more of an idea of where to place things in future. And of course, it's nice to remind ourselves of why we're doing this. Yeah. Just to build this list, that's what it's all about, really. People say that it's about the journey rather than the destination, but it is actually all about this list. This is the important bit. So if you don't want to listen to the normal episodes, then you could just listen to the sub-episodes where we go through the order of things. It might not always be me who does it. I'm going to try and get some other people on board to have a stab at some of the future ones, just to reduce the workload on me and hopefully so that listeners can get to know our colourful cast of characters a little bit better. The format of these sub-episodes is going to be very loose compared to the normal episodes. We don't have strict segments, bring a thing and cram session and all that stuff. We're just going to kind of ramble through the list and do a bit of commentary on it if we feel like it. And yeah, it's only me here today, just Alex. But I thought I would get us started off and show people what I sort of think these episodes should be, although they might be just about anything. I was thinking of doing a song for this one, but then I couldn't be bothered. It just seemed like a lot of effort, although I'm sort of shooting myself in the foot, because if I ever do want to do a song that incorporates everything on the list, it'll be a lot better to do one now before the list gets any more ridiculously long than it already is. So we've got 79 things on this list as of the end of episode 10. And yeah, I wonder if I should just run through it in order and get on with it. I guess I should, because I had no idea how long it's going to take. So currently, and episode 10 I think went up on the 22nd of June 2017. So this is the order of things as of that date. Number 1 thing in the world, the best thing in the world so far that we have looked at, is water, the substance, H2O, whatever you want to call it. It's there at number 1 still, and I'm not sure what's going to displace it, but I'm sure we'll come up with something eventually. Number 2 is NASA. Number 3 is New York, the city, not the state. Number 4 is Berlin. Controversially, it's below New York. I think James was going to change that, but he got distracted by cats. That's what happens to him a lot. Number 5 is smartphones. Number 6 is cats, the aforementioned animal. Number 7 is compass. Yeah, we know that's controversial, but we'll get to that in future episodes, I'm sure. Then it's Bob Dylan at number 8, our currently top musical artist on the list. Then number 9 is marriage, a new entry as of episode 10. And then at number 10, it's Switzerland. Yes, I still feel bad about Switzerland. Sorry about all the abuse you've taken. We haven't really abused you. I mean, number 10 out of 79, that's pretty good. Come on. 1984 is next at number 11, the George Orwell novel that Alana hates. Then at number 12, it's drums, the musical instrument that Scott plays. Number 13, it's another new entry, Michelangelo's David, brought along by Ewan, who had a transformative experience with him. Number 14 is Red Pandas, one of Scott's favourite animals. Number 15, it's the legendary pangolins. They're not actually legendary. I think they do actually exist. We still haven't had absolute confirmation of that fact, but there's a lot of people who are very good at Photoshop if they don't exist. Number 16 is the Edinburgh Festival, another new entry brought by Alana. Number 17, the 48-Hour Film Project, another event, which we did quite recently and made a kind of scary, weird film. That's not in our usual style, but I kind of like it. If you go on YouTube and search for Sarah Beyond Studios, it should be the first one that comes up, maybe. I'm going to try that right now and see. No, it isn't the first one that comes up. Never mind. But if you search for Beyond Studios, you'll probably find us fairly quickly. Yeah, our channel comes up fairly high up. Not the top thing, but Beyond Studios and then go down, and it's the one that has a nice logo with a clapperboard and a blue background. Click on our channel, you'll find our latest spooky film there, along with some of our previous not so spooky films. Oh, sorry, back to the list. Number 18 is Mario, the whole game franchise. Seems a bit low, actually, looking at it. I really do like Mario quite a lot. Maybe we can do something about that soon. Number 19, a new entry from you, and it's Summer Holidays. Number 20 is Headphones, the bane of my existence. Number 21 is Being unable to stop laughing. For example, if you see a caterpillar cake cut in half, that might happen to you. If it does happen to you, please get in touch. You are my soulmate. Number 22, Having Good Teeth. Yeah, that one's done pretty well. It's holding up fairly well under the barrage of new entries, and quite surprised that it's staying up that high, to be honest. And then 23 is Cher, musical artist, our second best musical artist on the list, apparently. Number 24 is Daytime, another new entry, followed immediately by Nighttime at number 25. Number 26 is Grilled Cheese Sandwiches, just above George Foreman Grills. Number 28 is Dancing. Number 29 is The Colour Blue. I feel like that should be higher. No one else seems to really care about The Colour Blue except me. Like, everyone else is just like, I guess it's fine. But, you know, imagine the world without The Colour Blue. I really think that people would miss it more than they think. They take it for granted. Anyway, number 30 is the Eurovision Song Contest, brought by Val on episode 4, I believe. That was a good one. I enjoyed that discussion. Number 31 is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, the book, not the film. Number 32 is Furbies. Number 33 is Porridge, that staple of the Scottish diet. Then it's another staple of the Scottish diet. Well, alcohol is a staple of the Scottish diet. I'm not sure cocktails are the main type of alcohol that people drink in Scotland. Probably not, but I'm sure there's a subset of Scots who drink them a lot. I don't know why I'm rambling so much about cocktails. I don't know anything about them. Number 35 is the Loch Ness Monster. That one always seems to come up in our conversations for some reason. It's one of the sort of milestones on the list. There's certain things on the list that you're like, they stand out when you look at it, and that's one of them. And you're like, does it go above that or below? And then we can narrow it down further from there. Reality is at number 36, of course, got placed below the Loch Ness Monster. And then below Reality, at number 37, it's the Monster Raving Loony Party, brightening up our election nights. Although we had quite an interesting election night anyway a few weeks ago. That was fun. Not as soul-crushing as I'd expected. At number 38, we have the year 1866, which only I seem to care about. Number 39, we have mobile card readers, very useful for Laura. Not really used by anyone else, but we put them up there because, you know, they're probably good. Not much downside to them. At number 40, and we're about halfway down the list now actually, we have New Book Smell. Our top smell on the list at the moment. I'm sure it will be usurped by another smell at some point. I can't imagine it staying as the top smell on the list. There's so many good smells out there. Shirts are at number 41. Coffee pods number 42. And t-shirts are at number 43. I think we might have made a mistake there, putting t-shirts below shirts, because I was putting fashion above comfort, which I never do in normal life, and I think I sort of felt like, I should dress more smartly, but that all depends on what mood I'm in on the day. Sometimes I want to dress smartly, sometimes I just want to go, to hell with it. I'm just going to wear something comfortable, and I think that's in many ways the healthier attitude, but we can have that discussion another day. Number 44 is Coca-Cola, and number 45 is Nutella, two sort of vices that have many downsides, but they're delicious, so we put them sort of in the middle of the list to recognise the duality there. Number 46, we have Profanity, brought by Ewan. I think he wanted it to go higher, but yeah, it's a divisive thing, I get that, so it's kind of sitting there in the middle. Number 47 is The Feeling at the Start of a Roller Coaster Ride, brought by Heather. I enjoy that sensation, although it also has a downside. It's kind of terrifying. Number 48 is Old Book Smell, another smell, not quite as good as New Book Smell according to the panel. Number 49 is Cocoa Pops, been on the list since the very first episode, and they don't seem like they're going to make a massive comeback, but maybe. We've got infinite episodes of this to go probably, so there's always time. At number 50, it's spiders, and here's a tip for you if you're scared of spiders, and it may be a completely useless tip. I think it probably would be. If I hadn't had my spider phobia therapy, then I would never have actually done this. But when you see a big spider and you get a sort of jolt of adrenaline, instead of running away from it, why don't you run towards it? Because you can sort of convert that adrenaline, you don't have to use it to make you terrified and just flee and think, oh my god, that thing's going to kill me. You could use it as excitement instead. Like, try and turn your fear into excitement. Like, ooh, there's a big spider, I could try and catch it in my hands. Like, that's sort of what I'm trying to do at the moment. I haven't seen any huge ones, but I've seen small ones, and I've gone ooh and run towards them and tried to like catch them, and that sort of makes me feel better about the whole thing, because usually they run away and then you feel like, yeah, I'm the one in control here, spider. Even if you don't actually catch them, it's like I put them in their place at the very least. After spiders on the list comes trashy TV at number 51. And then at number 52, it's country music, another guilty pleasure, for Heather at least. Number 53 is Sonic the Hedgehog, the game franchise. I think that's too low. I think a number of people agree with me on that. I don't know why it ended up there, but we will probably address that in Nudges and Grudges fairly soon, I hope. Number 54, the liberal social media bubble. Number 55, slippers, two very comfortable things. Number 56, Alpha Centauri, the star system, which is our closest neighbour as a star system, but it just seems like it's maybe a bit boring. I don't know. I mean, and we can't get there, so what's the point of it, really? Number 57, American radio stations, the thing that Mark loves to both love and hate at the same time. Number 58 is cheese rolling, the sport of kings. Number 59 is party balloons, Mark's arch nemesis, recently nudged up by me. Number 60 is video conferencing, James's arch nemesis. Number 61 is gift wrapping, another of Mark's nemeses. Number 62 is straws, drinking straws, which are fun. Number 63 is breakfast in bed. And number 64 is freshly squeezed lemon juice. Number 65 is East 17, the band I pretended to like as a child. Number 66 is Word Twist, the game I was addicted to as an adult briefly. Number 67 is Word Porn, the website and Facebook page that annoys me a bit sometimes, but it isn't really that bad in the grand scheme of things. That's a new entry for the last episode. And then number 68 is teleportation, a theoretical technology, which I don't really like very much. I think you can hear my thoughts about that on episode 7. Number 69, when a dog follows you and it isn't your dog. Number 70, loose change in the street. I don't know why that's not higher up, because there isn't really a bad side to it. It's probably better than teleportation, to be honest, from a sort of philosophical point of view anyway. Number 71, the hypnic jerk, or the kick as it's sometimes known, the sensation you get when you're falling asleep and you feel like you're falling suddenly. And number 72 is saying goodbye on the phone. Number 73 is getting a haircut. We're in the sort of awkward situation sector of the list right now. Number 74 is when you're at the bus stop and you don't know whether the person in front of you is getting on the bus. Number 75 is the American tipping system. A new entry at number 76, being sweaty. And then we have at number 77, the common cold. Then number 78, jealousy. And finally at number 79, Piers Morgan, who has recently been pushed back down to the bottom by Ewan being annoyed with something that he said, which he didn't tell us what it was. But we can probably make something up and feel fairly confident that he said something worse than that. So yeah, that is our list. I'm quite proud of it in a weird sort of way. I don't think we've got anything massively wrong. I mean, maybe you disagree, and you know, I kind of want to make this more interactive for listeners, so if there are actually any listeners out there who aren't also on the podcast, which I'm still not entirely sure about, then feel free to get in touch. You can find my Twitter account and send me a message on there, or through my Facebook writer page maybe. I want to do a few sort of little admin-y things at the end here. I just kind of want to tell you a few things that are going on. This sub-episode is not, you might notice, it's not coming out on a Thursday as new episodes tend to, so there will still be another episode out next Thursday, and hopefully for every Thursday for at least a while. I don't want to say forever, because at some point we might take a break to cool down our brains a little bit. But for now, I'm enjoying sort of cranking these out, and we've already actually recorded a couple of new ones that haven't been uploaded yet. We've got a new person on them. The legendary Gavin is finally making an appearance, along with the reappearance of Mark, so it's a good time for everyone involved. In terms of other stuff going on with the podcast, if you haven't seen it, I've been doing little drawings to go with each episode. I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep that up, but I've been really enjoying doing it. I'm not good at drawing. You might notice that if you look at the drawings that I've done, but I just think it's nice to have a little bit of artwork on the website, and we have got the logo which Andy Keith designed. He's a very good designer and friend of mine and of the groups, and he just did that out of the blue at the beginning of the podcast, and I was very happy about that. So thank you very much, Andy, again, and hopefully we'll actually get you on the podcast soon, because I know that you want to be. And the logo that Andy did is really great, and it works really well as the sort of header for the website, but I kind of thought it'd be nice to have a bit more art on the website as well, just to brighten it up a little bit, even if it is done in a very sort of crude drawing style. And I don't want to make anyone else obligated to draw a new picture for every episode, so I just decided to do it myself so that I don't have to bother anyone else about it constantly. Another thing I've been doing is I've been re-editing the first couple of episodes of Everything vs. Everything, because I just felt like I hadn't done a great job with them the first time round. I felt like there were more pauses and errs and stuff in those than there are in the rest of the episodes, and likes. Oh my god, do I say like a lot? And now that I've mentioned it, if you hadn't noticed already, you're going to notice now that I say like in pretty much every sentence at least once, if not 100 times. So yeah, that's fun, and I try to take out as many as I can in the edit, but it's not always possible, so sorry about that. I will try to change it, but no promises. It's just sort of my default thing to say, I suppose, if I am struggling for a word or just as a little punctuator, so it's very difficult to stop doing it, and I notice sometimes when I do it and I'm like, no, I just said like again. Anyway, so I've actually re-edited episode 1 already, so that's a bit better now. It's a few minutes shorter, just from cutting out pauses and little stumbles and stuff. It's amazing how much time you can actually save by doing that, and it does make it quite a bit more listenable, so that's why I'm doing it. Episode 2 I'm still working on, but that should be done in the next few days. If you hadn't listened to them yet, they will now be more listenable for when you do. Another thing that I'm thinking of doing soon is putting all the episodes so far on YouTube as just, audio with a still image, because it would just be easier for some people if we had just the audio files up on YouTube just to click onto if they feel like listening in the background while they're doing something else on the computer. So just thought that'd be a fun thing to do. I'm going to start uploading those fairly soon, I hope, so that we have more people have more options to listen to this show, because there's no point in restricting it at all. I just want lots of people to hear it, just to increase the odds that someone will find it and like it, because that would be cool if that happened. I don't think there's really anything else to do with Everything vs. Everything. Rainy Day Adventure Club, which is my other podcast I do, which I mentioned in the closing credits of Everything vs. Everything before. I'm thinking of doing some more of those soon, so hopefully that will happen. I've been talking to my very wonderful friend Laurie about that, and she's been trying to persuade me to get on and actually do some more of that, and so I will try. I should just plug a bunch of different things really here. The website for this podcast, if you don't already know, is everything.wordpress.com. That's V, the letter V, not VS, not versus the word. You can go there, look at the silly pictures that I drew, look at the list. I have a list for every episode, so you can always go and look at what the state of the list is at any given point, so you don't have to be fully caught up in order to look at the list. You can go to the episode that you're currently on, and the episode page for that will have a link to the list for that episode, so you can kind of follow along that way and enjoy looking at the list as you're listening. That might be a fun thing to do. I don't know, I haven't tried. And you can subscribe to the RSS feed. Aside from that, you can listen to the 8 adventures and 24 episodes that we've currently done of Rainy Day Adventure Club. It's a sort of silly adventure podcast, sort of role-playing-y. It's sort of like D&D, but very much sillier and a bit more sort of light on sort of combat and systems and stuff, and more heavy on puzzles and sort of silly character interactions and stuff. It's a fun little bit of nonsense that I came up with a few years ago. You can go to rainydayadventureclub.wordpress.com to listen to what we've done so far. You can find stuff about my writing at alexperrywriter.co.uk. You can find my first novel there, The War of Undoing, which I released a couple of years ago. You can also read the whole first part of it for free on my website. There's also other stuff on my website, like a blog where I talk about my broken brain and books that I've read. I've written a lot of book reviews. You can go to sonictriangle.co.uk to hear music that I've written and that my brother James and my friend Heather have performed. You can go to beyondstudios.co.uk for videos or look at our YouTube channel. These links are all also available from the Everything vs. Everything website. So you could just go there and stop listening to me rambling on. I'm going to stop now because I've done enough and I don't want these sub-episodes to be ridiculously long. Basically, before I go, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been on this podcast so far and everyone who's helped in any other ways, and thanks to everyone who's going to be on it in future, because I know we have a few people lined up who want to be on it, and sorry we haven't got around to you yet. It's just scheduling stuff really that stopped us. Thanks for indulging me. It's actually been really enjoyable for me, and I talk a lot about social anxiety on this podcast, and it's not an affectation or anything. It's very much a reality for me, and in many ways I have trouble having normal conversations with people in certain situations. Not always, but sometimes I get very shy and quiet, even with my friends sometimes. And this has given me a sort of a way of talking to people in a structured way, which actually helps quite a bit, and has made me a bit more sort of talkative. I'm more talkative on the podcast than any other situation probably, so it's been a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed listening to other people talking about things that we wouldn't normally talk about, and I think it's a cool way to get to know people, honestly, to get to know your friends a little bit better. So I hope we can keep doing it for a while, and thank you again to everyone who's been on it, and everyone who's been listening, all you theoretical people out there. If you're a theoretical person or a real person, thank you very much. Really appreciate it, and hope you keep listening for a while, and feel free to get in touch with me. I'm at Mole Thrower on Twitter, as in a thrower of moles, one who chucks poorly sighted burrowing garden animals around Mole Thrower. That's about all I have to say for today, so I'll see you on next episode 11, where we'll be talking to Gavin and Mark, and we'll have a jolly good time. See you then. Bye!